Hello YouTube, it's Uncle from Reloaded with our next war recap video, and this time we were up against the cantalous and a pretty lopsided war really. We kind of had a suspicion that might be the case by looking at their war log, which was sort of 50-50 and some relatively low scores for 30 versus 30 wars, but no, it's still good practice and they put up a good fight, so we will give them the respect of taking a look at what they did to our villagers. So they struggled with Major Hunky and went in with an all dragon attack, which is kind of interesting against Town Hall 11, and got 2s and 1s on Town Hall 10s. The difference though was our Town Hall 9s, where they struggled greatly, mostly kind of 1 and 2 star attacks, lots of dragons, which never works that well at Town Hall 9, and when I say dragons I mean mass dragons with kind of double zap Quaken dragons. So that was kind of interesting. We 2-starred both of their Town Hall 10s, and 98%, and when you watch the replay it was just so close to 100. It's just insane. Couple of 3s on their, a few 3s on their 10s, so 2s and 3s, a couple of 9s left on the board, but most of their 9s triples and below, so plenty to look through. Major, just so you know, I've used this attack in another video, so it's not going to be on this because it wasn't a 3-star attack, but it is on YouTube if you have a look around. This is a triple on one of their Town Hall 10s, which again I've used in another video, so we won't look at that today. Same with these, so these are both attacks that you'll find in our video on ring bases, but we will have a look at Prodigy's attack here on their number 8. And he does a lovely job here. So he comes in, gets the lure, drops his Archer Queen down with a few healers, so he's going on a Queen walk. Nice double poison that does a great job of taking out the balloons before they get close to his Queen, while she's taking out the dragon. Meanwhile, he's got a Golem coming in at the top with a few wizards and his King. Takes out that entire compartment, so he's doing a great job of building a funnel. And look at this jump spell placement. It lets his kill squad get into that middle compartment, and it also lets his Valks get into the center compartment without spreading them into the side compartments. It's just superb placement. Heal and Rage in the core. His Valks have tore through the center of the base, which is always what you want them to do. It's always a race to the Infernos. They're cleaning up one side of the base. His Archer Queen is slowly working her way down, taking out defenses on the other side. He is losing her healers to that air defense, but at this stage there's only one defense left, and she's just taken it down. So it's everything lasted just long enough, and he's got a ton of Valkyries left over. So it's superb attack, really nice. And, great way to kick us off on the war recap. Okay, moving right along. We've got Plan Jenny coming in on their number 12. So bringing a couple of golems and some wizards just to build the funnel and open the base up. A bunch of Valkyries drawn into the center. There's a poison there for the CC dragon. Nice jump spell placement. Lets the Valks go straight in through the core, where there is a rage and a heal spell waiting for them. King and Queen coming in behind on the cleanup duty. Hogs coming in from the bottom, just taking out defenses. Does get a couple of spring traps. Loses a few hogs to spring traps, and the Valks and rest of the CC troops are doing a great job of cleaning up everything that's left. There's the base is wrecked. There's Valkyries, there's Hogs, there's both heroes who just popped the Queen's ability, just completely crushed the base. And very nicely done indeed, Jenny. Pleasure to watch. Okay, moving right along. We've got Still coming in with the Valks. They're still favourite. Only gets the CC lure. He's got a Queen walk happening. With a couple of poison spells, and so that's going to be a nice way to take out the CC, and it's nice to see the healers down before the CC is dealt with rather than after. She also gets the enemy Archer Queen, so great value from the Queen walk. Got the CC, got several defenses, and the enemy Archer Queen, just superb. The Valks have come in, wrecked the base, and just tearing their way through the far side. So nice funnel placement. super jump spell placement because both the Queen and the Valks could use it. And yeah, straight into that core where all the fruit happens to be. So I do think increasingly having both Infernos in one compartment is not a good design at Town Hall 9. You want to spread them out to make people work to get them down with their Valkyries these days. But still has an absolute ton of Valkyries left over, and there's only one building, and the next thing he's got the 3, so very nicely done indeed. Alrighty, let's keep things moving along. Andrew coming in on number 15. So seeing here lots of what I call anti-2-star bases or symmetric bases with the town hall in the centre. So kind of not really hardcore war bases from this crew. He's coming in just on one side here. He's got a kill squad with a couple of golems, his heroes, some wizards, got a poison down for the CC, and that's the main job here, is to come in and get the CC. He's comes in heavy on his hogs, but that's because he knows they're all going to stay in one tight pack because of the funneling he's done with his main kill squad. So one heal spell keeps all of his hogs up on good health. Nice heal spell placement on the next one, keeps them healed through a giant bomb, tears through, and look at how many, and he's got an absolute ton of hogs left. It's just insane. And they're going to tear through these remaining non-defensive structures. Just a crazy number of hogs. I'm not even sure whether he lost any. Catches the giant bomb right at the end just as he gets the triple. Didn't use his Queen's ability because he didn't need to. Superb attack. And 3 golems is the gold standard for Goho at Town Hall 9 these days. And our next is also from Andrew on a very spread out base indeed, with all these high hit point buildings on the outside. Kind of an odd base really. He's bringing interesting combo. There's a few Valks, wizards. We might fast forward this a little bit. So he's just being a bit patient. He's got some troops spread around the outside, just taking out these buildings. I mean, why not? They're not in range of anything, so you might as well just drop something down and save yourself some time at the end of the raid. So he's coming in at the bottom here with a couple of golems, easily cleared out all those buildings by taking out the buildings a little bit earlier. So nice setup for his funnel. Nice heal for his Valkyries. Torn into the core of the base. He's got a heal to keep them healthy as they run through. His wizards taken out the town hall. He's got Valkyries running everywhere. He's got his king and his queen. Everything's very spread out. And yeah, there's just not enough to hold up against that level of attack. So superbly done. And nicely broken down as a base as well. So next we've got GG coming in. God's Gift coming in on number 17. Drops down a couple of troops, gets the lure, lures them over to the corner here, where he's going to drop a golem and a poison and a bunch of wizards, and that dragon is soon going to be a thing of the past. He's got wall breakers coming down, a couple of Valkyries just to help finish off the funnel. His king and his queen are going in, and soon he'll be dropping in his main Valk force, just a couple to check that they would go the right way, but some of them do split. That's largely because too many buildings have gone down on the inside of the compartment, so there is a little bit of timing needed, but it actually works out quite nicely for him here because he's got cleanup happening in multiple parts of the base. Enough of his Valkyries went in the core with his king and the golem to take out everything inside the core, and at the same time the rest of the Valkyries have been taking out buildings on the outside of the core, so that's just absolutely demolished the base in record time. Just very nicely done. Not much more you can say than nicely done when you wreck the base like that. Okay, and we've got Faye coming in with a bunch of Valks and hogs. I mean, they're effective, and we're seeing a lot of them these days, but they're used a lot because they work. So he's got the nice double poison here. All those CC troops just evaporate before they get anywhere near his troops. He's got a few wizards helping with the funnel. He's got a golem down. The wizards have taken out the king. Expo on the outside, which is that's just what this kind of war was like really. Heal spell while these Valkyries burn their way into the base. He's kept a couple of Valks up his sleeve, and they're now on cleanup duty on the outside, but his main Valk force has gone into the core of the base. completely gutted the core, and they're now going to burn their way outside the base and work their way through that next layer. So he's got a golem up, he's got hogs running along with his Valks here. He's got his king and his queen still up. Popped his king's ability. There's just one defense left, and there's a troll Tesla in the corner as well, but that's not going to cause him any trouble at all. His hogs will take it out, and the next thing you know, there's just one builder's hut right at the top. So we will watch as the Valkyries outpace the hogs and take it down for the 3-star. Okay, and then we have Clouds coming in with the Valks. Drops the hog, gets the lure, brings the Valk, I should say, brings the Lava Hound over to a corner of the base, drops his queen down. Does take a little while to get through one of these max Lava Hounds, so it's always a good idea to drop a poison just to help out, and also gets you a bit of assistance on the back end with the pops as well. So he's got his Valks coming in here. He's got his max Valks in from the CC, which is always a good call at Town Hall 9. Lovely jump spell placement, Rage, just tearing through the base as Valkyries are wont to do. A couple of jumps keep them running through the base, and the next thing you know, there's only a couple of compartments left. He's got Valkyries on the outside, he's got a few Valkyries running with his golem on the inside. He's got his queen on one compartment. She is going to go down here to that cannon, but he's got more than enough Valkyries left to get the job done. And he's also got a golem and a wizard, and the next thing you know, there's only 2 buildings left, and the wizard takes out the only remaining defense, and then it's just down to the Valkyries on the cleanup. Nicely done, Clouds. A very clean attack. Minor Major, and you know when Minor's coming that there's going to be more than one Valkyrie involved. Okay, so we've got a giant coming down, getting the CC lure, and just a few barbs. If you're struggling dealing with dragons in the CC, just take a look at how Minor does it here. So there's overlapping poison spells placed 5-10 seconds apart, and just half a dozen barbs. That's all it takes. You don't need 10 wizards to kill a dragon in the CC. You just need 6 barbs and a couple of poison spells. If you haven't got a couple of poison spells, it's probably because you're using 4 earthquakes, and maybe it's time to think about taking a jump spell instead. But there we go. Okay, so we've got jump spell into the core after having opened the outer wall with wall breakers. Always like to see that. You just get better value from your spells doing that. Nice placement on the heal spell, where most of his Valkyries ran, and they are now working their way through the outer compartment, taking out defense after defense. He's got a nice large pack of Valkyries working their way through. His king and his queen are kind of beating on a wall, as heroes tend to. But there's only a couple of defences left, and he's got plenty of troops left for the cleanup. He's got his queen on pretty much full health. She's still got her abilities. She's going to pop in, take out the archer tower, and then there's only one cannon left, and that Valkyrie just sneaks in and takes it out from behind. Nicely done. Nicely done indeed. Okay, next up we have Geek coming in on another one of these really spread out bases. Couple of barbs here, just testing for giant bomb location, because it was a clean-up attack and one of the giant bombs was on the outside. So it gets the CC lure, and once again it's double poison with some barbs, just keeping those troops in the poison spell. There's a couple of wizards here as well, just to try and speed things along a little bit. One of the wizards does sneak a little bit too far forward and gets taken out by, in fact they both get taken out by the archer tower, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But no matter, he gets the job done with a couple more barbs just to keep that dragon in the poison spell, and it's done. Now it's time for the main attack force to come in, and that's going to come in from the top. So he drops a golem down. There's a couple of balloons here on each side, just taking out those archer towers and cannons, because they're out of range of the air defense. It's always worth scouting if there are defenses you can take out cheaply with a couple of balloons, because 2 balloons taking out 2-point defense, well worthwhile on any base. Okay, so he's opened up the wall here. He's got his Valkyries coming in. He's still got 3 balloons up his sleeve and 10 hogs. So whilst there's a good bunch of Valks, it's not just about Valks. There's a bit of variety in there for for the YouTube audience, and his hogs are running on either side of the central compartment, taking out defences, while the Valkyries run through that central compartment, taking out the remaining defences. He's got his Valks split up on him here, but he places heals down to keep both groups of Valks alive, while the ones at the bottom are taking out the King and the Expo. He's got drops his remaining balloons just to help take out a couple of these defences. And the next thing, there's only a wizard tower left. He catches a giant bomb with his hogs, but at this stage there's no defences left. He's got balloons up, he's got Valkyries up, he's got a couple of hogs up, he's got King and Queen up. Everything is still running around, all converging on the one remaining building, and the next thing you know, it's 3 stars. So that's kind of Gova Holo with some balloons. Okay, next up we've got Lord Jack coming in on their Town Hall 8. Okay, so 4 earthquakes to open up the base, and good value with that because he's opened up pretty much the entire base. So that's nice to see. Couple of golems. He's got his king going in, which is nice. The CC is locked onto his golems, which is absolutely perfect. That means he can drop his Valks in, know that they'll be safe while his wizards take out the CC, because the CC are going to be very distracted on the golems, whilst his big healthy group of hogs there on to come and take out the bulk of the defences. That's just going to keep his Valkyries on good health. Hog's doing a great job on these defences, taking them down very quickly, and the next thing you know, the base is done. There's 1 Tesla left, but he's got more than enough hogs to come along and take it out, and then it's just a question of cleanup. So very nicely done, Lord Jack. Kind of picture perfect Go Baho at Town Hall 8. Just a couple of buildings left. Won't take too long. Hogs are actually quite good clean-up troops because they can jump over walls. In that sense, they can be a little bit faster than Valks. So nicely done indeed. Pleasure to watch. Pleasure to watch. Okay, now we've got Geek coming in against Town Hall 8. So this is a Town Hall 9 bullying a Town Hall 8. So we'll speed this up a little bit. So it's just a double Zapquake dragon drop. So nothing too special. Drops both heroes, some dragons, builds a funnel, lots of dragons, has a baby dragon just for, I think it's just as an alternative to carrying a lava hound in the CC. There was a dragon and a baby dragon, but there's still plenty of troops. Balloons in from the sides to take out the archer towers, which are the only things, once you've got the air defences down, that can really damage your dragons, and gets the 3. Okay, number 24, Zimmer. Coming in on another easy lure. So just drops a single archer down to get the lure, and another archer to pull the troops over to the corner, and then it's just a question of a couple of barbarians. Is actually getting some double use out of his barbs as they run towards that builder's hut. Gets a second poison down. Builder's hut goes down. The second poison, if the dragon stays in it, is going to be enough to take it out. And that's the lure done. So he drops a few wizards on the outside to take out these high hit point buildings. Not quite. If you're going to have a high hit point building on the outside of your base, make sure that the opponent is going to be in range of one of your defences if they try and just drop a wizard or an archer down to take it out. Otherwise, it's not really adding any defensive value to your base. Okay, so we've got Valkyries running around a couple of different parts of the base. There's also Valkyries in the core with the king and a golem. Couple of heal spells, keeps the Valkyries all on good health whilst they're tearing their way through the base. Does hit a giant bomb with his Valkyries there, but doesn't bother to heal them because there just simply isn't enough buildings left in the base and there's no defences left. So gets the job done with a heal spell to spare. Very nicely done. And last, oh no, we've got a few more. Sorry. I'm used to 25 versus 25 wars, and this one's a 30, so there's a few more attacks for you guys. So this is Ollie coming in with Town Hall 8 on Town Hall 8. So he's done a Zapquake with a bunch of balloons. He's got a Rage for his dragons. Nice choice on placement of the Rage spell there. rages up his dragons whilst they are taking on the CC dragon, and was near one of the remaining air defences, so it just helps them power through that section. He's got a ton of balloons left. They are being pushed around a little bit by the air sweeper there. They run into a air trap and get taken out, but he's got an absolute stack of dragons left, who are just going to casually stroll their way through the base. And there's a spare balloon from the CC just sat there looking forlornly as the rest of the base has been completely demolished. So nicely done, Ollie. Okay, this is Raj going in cookie style, doing it with the Valks. Drops the hog down, gets the CC lure, uses an archer to bring them over to the corner. If you're going to rely on troops just running, barbarians are better choices just because they're slower than archers. Drops a double poison, perhaps a little bit too quick, maybe leave a couple more seconds between those two poisons. Otherwise the effect doesn't last long enough to take out the dragon, but no matter, he drops a couple of wizards down and gets the same result. A few wall breakers to help open the base up. He's got a golem down to distract all the defences whilst his wizards clear out a nice path for him, or a nice funnel. And here come the Valks, straight into the base, straight into the core, straight under a heal spell, which is just really nice placement, and they're breaking their way out through multiple segments of the wall. Rage just to keep them pushing through all those defences. They're breaking their way out of multiple parts of the base, and the next thing you know, there's pretty much there's nothing left. It's just done. I must say, I do think that Valkyries are a little more reliable than dragons at Town Hall 8, even though you have seen a few dragons at this war, and a Troll Tesla in the corner, just because, I suppose. Very nicely done, Raj. Really nice attack. And nice to see the transition to ground-based, or to Valkyries. And this is Hunket coming in on their number 27 with drags. So I think I haven't looked at Hunket's base recently, but I think it's Town Hall 7, so we're looking at Town Hall 7 on Town Hall 7. With level 2 dragons, that's probably true. And coming in with the triple rage rather than Zapquake, so that's kind of something different. Of course, that rather than Zap, I mean, because you don't get Zapquake until you hit Town Hall 8. So he's got CC hogs who've come in and got one of the air defences. His dragons under rage have got the other 2 air defences, and then it's just a waltz across the base in slow motion as he gets a nice split on his dragons. I always remember back in the day, you used to worry about not getting a split on your dragons if you were running a bit low on time. I must say, since the update, they do. Raids rarely run out of time these days. So we've got Rum Punch coming in with the triple lightning zap. Drops his CC troops and gets lucky that the dragon doesn't take out the hogs before the hogs take out the air defense, or maybe that's just well calculated. I don't know. Either way, gets the job done. I'd be nervous the dragon was going to take out my hogs, but Rum's probably done the math and worked that out. So he's got dragons just waltzing their way across the base, taking everything out in their path as they go. That is one of the nice things about dragons. There's rarely any cleanup. They don't have to backtrack unless there are builders' huts in the corner, which can be a bit of a moment during a dragon attack. But he's got loads of time left. And he's got an absolute ton of dragons left, and he does in fact have builders' huts in all of the corners. So we'll just fast forward because it's all pretty much just a race as the dragons do a tour of the outside of the map. And bearing in mind that the map is now 4 squares bigger than it used to be, it's kind of impressive that still fit those raids in 3 minutes. Okay, now we've got DA. This is Town Hall 7 on Town Hall 7 action. Coming in, gets the triple lightning on the 1 level 4 air defense, and then I think it's just a question of drops a dragon down, or drops a troop down in each corner. It's just about building a funnel to keep his troops going in where they want. He's got loads of dragons centrally. There's CC Hogs. It didn't quite go the way he was expecting, so they did kind of veer off a little bit, but one of them helped out with the air defense, so it's enough to get the job done without losing too many dragons. And then all the dragons are converging here, chasing the Barbarian King. That's helping to keep them all grouped up together, and they're very dangerous when they're grouped together because the defenses go down even faster. And the next thing you know, there's just one building left, and the wizard is going to be enough to get the job done. Okay, one more. And we've got Raj coming in on their number 30. Doing something a little bit different. So we're coming in with some giants and wizards, which is always nice as a bit of variety. So we've got a bunch of what are they called? Archers. That's what they're called. Archers coming in under double poison to take down the dragon, just making his funnel. Nice heal spells. There's inevitably going to be some spring traps here, so he's probably expecting to lose a few. All those giants in the center. Nice heal spell placement just to catch the giants that are in this, both in the center and running on the outside, to give them a little bit of love as well. He's got wizards on the outside, he's got wizards in the core, he's got his Barbarian King. There's only one or two buildings left, even though he's run into a double giant bomb here. It's not going to make any difference. Lovely attack indeed, Raj. Completely owned that Town Hall 7. Okay, let's check out how we did on the attack. So, major with so close to 100%. So yeah, do go check out the Town Hall 10 ring-based video if you haven't seen that attack yet. Lou, Uncle, yours truly, with a 6-star war on Town Hall 10, so quite pleased with that one. Got Uni on 98 and 91, still on 91 and 100, so lots of very close, 88 and 100. Andrew on a 6-pack war this war, which is very nice. Faye just missing out with 194. Then we've got Geek on a 6-star war this war. We've got Zimmer, who was close, on 182. We've got Raj on 6-star war as well. So plenty of good attacks this war. Just didn't let up despite the war result. So well done to everybody. Just another green line in the war log, which is what we like to see, and it's looking very green indeed. Let's bring it home in the next war too, and